I'm so tired.
Are you emotionally exhausted or physically exhausted?
Both. It's been a long day. It's been a long
Friday.
day. It's Friday. Week's over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe also because I skipped the gym. I'm a little like, oh, I didn't do the thing that I usually do.
Yeah, you're not like in the zone.
Not in the zone, not dialed in. But that's going to change right now because welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Hell Money Podcast. I am Casey Rodarmor. This is my lovely co-host, Aaron Redwing. Today we have a episode for you.
We do have an episode for you.
Yeah, what's it about, Aaron?
Ord 1.0.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah,
Kind
right.
of. I mean, that's sort of the hook.
It's kind of the deal, yeah. So we have a bunch of random stuff to talk about. Not actually that random, but the main hook is like, when is Ordinals at 1.0?
Can you explain what 1.0 is? Because you and Raph talk about this like as if it's a big thing. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't, like people be like, no, it's in beta on the website. I don't know what any of this is about.
So the thing is that people really think that it's a bigger deal than it is. Basically, Ord has gone through two phases so far. First, it started out in like pre-release, which is in the chaotic like pre-formation stage, where it was like nobody was encouraged to use it. It was like a massive mess. Like everything changed super rapidly. Nothing was fixed. And then from this primordial soup came the alpha release.
Right.
Yep.
And when was that? Like pre everything?
Yeah, maybe pre everything. I don't know when we actually put alpha like.
You probably tweeted it.
Yeah,
you can probably find it.
what alpha sort of implies is like we're ready for people to try to use this. You know, it's not just like an internal only thing.
Okay.
It's like a public, like, hey, we made this. It's still very chaotic, but we like want to get some like limited users.
But
like,
that would have been like before January 2023 or like after that.
Realistically, I don't know when we put like alpha on the website.
But like what would you say now? Self-assessing that
yeah,
timeline?
Earlier, like when we started doing like bounties and stuff. And
Yeah,
being, like
okay.
run the software.
Yeah, trying to get people
Yep.
to like play around with it and
Yep.
like test it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so okay, there's that. Beta or alpha. And then beta is when you're like, okay, like the software is kind of like has all the is like more polished, I guess. Like
It doesn't sound that like,
yeah.
there's not that much of a distinction.
There in software engineering, there is a technical distinction that people very rarely use, which is beta is feature complete, but still needs like testing and polish.
Okay.
And alpha is like not feature complete, like it's missing things.
And we've never exited these stages,
No.
right?
No, and we went from pre-release to alpha to beta,
Okay.
then back to alpha for a little bit around Rune's time because I was like, well,
Too
like,
chaotic.
too chaotic.
Yeah.
And then back to beta. We went back to beta a few months ago. I don't remember when. And now I'm like, okay, when 1.0? And 1.0 is just kind of like, this software is like pretty well tested and we don't think we're going to make any super, super drastic changes to it in the future. It's feature complete. It may have bugs. Software always has bugs, but they're not like deal breaker bugs, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And for the big things I think we need for me to, and it's really just like a declaration. It's just like,
It is, yeah.
but the degens like make a big deal out of it. Like ideally for the degens, like right when the bull market hits, we declare Ordinals 1.0.
I mean, that's going to be when this episode goes out. No. You're not declaring Ord 1.0 with this episode.
No.
You're sort of explaining Ord 1.0,
That's right,
which
yeah.
you're currently working on.
That's right.
Yeah, you and Raph love to give yourself late spring deadlines.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So it's like a similar kind
We
of
like to
situation.
bloom with the flowers.
That's so true.
Mhm.
It is kind of a natural cycle.
Yeah.
You know, you come out of winter and you're
Yeah.
ready to fully express yourselves in your final forms. So we're kind of just giving an explainer. If you see our lovely whiteboard,
Right.
this is an OG How Many Podcast setup that we
That's
have
right.
going right
Yeah,
now.
I like it.
I'm actually getting a little confused because usually we don't face each other when
Oh,
we're
yeah, a lot
recording.
of
So
eye
I'm getting a little freaked out because I feel like we used to record in this setup always with the whiteboard pretty
Mhm.
much.
Yep.
And that's because in the early days we were doing like pretty like specific Bitcoin educational content.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And now we're like doing episodes where we dress in costumes and talk about like
Right.
Trump or
Yeah,
whatever.
I mean, this is like shades of Craft Store Lightning Network.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. That one we had, that was very advanced for the time. We had
Yeah, for the time, yeah.
we had the overhead
Yep.
set up so you could see what we were doing on the
Right.
table.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're back to the whiteboard. And I mean, if hopefully you can read the whiteboard.
Here,
I think you
put
can.
some like bullet points to the left so that it looks like a list.
Okay.
You know.
Well, this is kind of the heading now.
Yeah. No. Just put. Yeah. Whatever. Just put like dashes.
Like for every single one?
For every single one. Now this makes it looks like a list that we're like going through.
So we're talking about Ord 1.0.
Yeah. So what goes into Ord 1.0? Well, one thing is this big wallet refactor that me and Raf have been working on.
That's number 2 kind of on our list,
but unfortunately
whatever.
the agent has to go after that.
Well, fuck. All right. So we'll just be checking things off. And
we're going to be checking.
We might even shill before everything.
Who
so
knows?
We'll see.
Who knows? So what goes into Ord 1.0? From my point of view, it's like we can't have big sources of technical debt and declare ourselves 1.0.
Yeah.
I feel like we have some technical debt in Ord, and it's with 2 things. It's with the wallet and it's with error handling. So the technical debt with the wallet is that the Ord wallet wraps Bitcoin Core. So the Ord wallet is a Bitcoin Core wallet. When you do Ord wallet init, you're creating a Bitcoin Core wallet.
And that's why you need to have so much space when you run Ord.
No, that's different. That's you need to download the blocks and the transactions so you know what's like in the blockchain.
Okay.
But that is something that so Bitcoin does 2 things. Bitcoin indexes the chain and verifies all the rules, and Bitcoin Core, and it is the wallet. So you need it for both of those things.
Okay.
And the space is not for the wallet. The space is for indexing of the blocks.
It's for this?
No, that's kind of what kind of. Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah, these are the Ord Protocol t-shirts that Aaron and I are both wearing. Yeah.
But no, okay, so it's not okay, so I'm confused. Okay. So you need Bitcoin Core for 2 things. Explain it again, how the 2 things are separate.
Bitcoin Core indexes the blockchain, and Ord indexes what Bitcoin Core blocks from Bitcoin Core.
And that's how you figure out where. That's why I was connecting it to this, because that's how you figure out where the ordinals are.
And Bitcoin Core does indeed do that. But also, we use Bitcoin Core's wallet. When you do Ord wallet create, you're creating a Bitcoin Core wallet.
I see.
When you do Ord wallet receive, Ord is asking your Bitcoin Core wallet for an address.
I see. So the Ord wallet is like a Bitcoin Core wallet that just has
a wrapper
Ordinals
around
awareness
Bitcoin Core.
to it.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's a perfect way of putting it.
Okay.
We did this kind of to save time early on. There weren't a lot of good options for what we should be using to like write a wallet. We already depended on Bitcoin Core. So we were like, all right, let's just depend on Bitcoin Core for the wallet. I think maybe this was a good decision all told for development. It let us, go kind of quickly and, worked for a while. But we started to run into limitations. So going back and forth with the wallet is very slow. Like talking to the wallet is really slow.
Post a comment or reply if you use the Ordinals wallet.
Yeah.
And not actually the Ordinals wallet, the Ord wallet.
Yep. It's slow. Bitcoin Core, the wallet doesn't need like the blocks database, but it has to, it also uses Bitcoin Core's block database. So you have to have the wallet on the same machine as you have this like 600 gigabyte like index.
Do you think that, sorry to interrupt, do you think that all like when people are doing like really interesting inscription stuff or kind of complicated inscription stuff, do you think they're all using Ord, or do you think there's other wallets?
I think a lot of them use Ord.
Yeah.
I think a lot of them use Ord underneath.
Okay.
Like I don't think Ord is a common like user wallet, but I think it's a common infrastructure wallet.
Yeah.
I don't even know, but I think like
I'm curious because I don't even know like, if you're like an artist or whatever and you're not working with some other service like Gamma or Ordinals Bot or whatever to inscribe, if you're doing it yourself, like I would think they're probably running Ord, right?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I honestly, we should do a user survey.
Yeah,
and
I'm
we
curious.
should ask people what people use Ord for, what is their biggest pain points, what improvements would they like. This is very common for large projects who just don't know how their users are using their software.
Yeah, I don't really know.
Yeah. But anyways, the wallet uses Bitcoin Core. This means that you have to have Bitcoin Core running on the same machine as you have the wallet. It's not really recommended to talk to Bitcoin Core's wallet over the network. It limits our flexibility. The wallet's really slow. Just a lot of like problems. And in the meantime, since me and Raf started the wallet that wraps Bitcoin Core, along has come BDK, which is the Bitcoin Dev Kit.
Oh, that's since you guys started.
I think it was around before we started, but it was more unstable.
Okay.
We looked at it.
It was in alpha?
It was in like alpha. Yeah. And we were like, we probably should not use this.
Is BDK now in 1.0?
Yeah, it is. It's like very much like mature.
Yeah,
It's like
okay.
people are like, use this thing. A lot of projects use it. So we feel comfortable using it. So we're like, one thing that we want. So why is this part of 1.0? It's because the current Ord wallet, I feel like, is technical debt that needs to be fixed. And I kind of want to get us to a good place before I say, okay, we're 1.0.
So that's wallet.
That's wallet. That's right. Yeah,
Okay.
That's the wallet. And the wallet, this will make the wallet faster, much more responsive. It'll mean that we're more flexible with features that we add. It will mean that you don't need to run it on the same machine as your Ord index.
Mhm.
Like you could have your super beefy server that you run the Ord index, and then you have your wallet just running on a super lightweight machine that doesn't have a lot of whatever. So you can like, if you want your private keys to be off on like one machine, it doesn't need to be your like heavy like Ord index machine.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Yep. In the future, we can also support hardware wallet signers. So that would be sick.
That's pretty clutch.
I would love that. Yeah. You got to keep in mind that Ord has a different security model. So like a hardware wallet doesn't provide as much as it does with Bitcoin, because the hardware wallet is still going to be like a cold card, and it's just going to display like what Bitcoin you're sending where.
It's not going to say you're sending this inscription.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Well, maybe someday.
Maybe someday.
You never know.
Yep. So, no, never, never, for technical reasons. So, but your private keys will be on this device, and people can maybe trick you into signing something you didn't intend, but people can steal your private keys. So we still get to a better place. And then I guess we can just transition into like one of the other things that this enables is the agent mode.
Do you feel like agent mode is 1.0, or is it just a feature?
Agent mode is definitely just a feature.
Yeah. Okay.
Like if we happen to be able to get it in before 1.0, that's sick. But it's explicitly 1.0 is like not about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I'll say before I talk about agent mode, the other big thing I want to do is error handling.
Mhm.
So
that's not a bullet point.
That's not a bullet point. But for 1.0, currently our error handling is like pretty bad. We handle all errors correctly and we don't like crash or anything. But I think our error messages are very bad.
They're not helpful.
They're not helpful. Yeah, because an error will occur like way down in some subsystem.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll get this like error from way deep in the subsystem, and it won't have the context from the top level task you're doing.
Yeah.
So an example is, let's say you're reading a config file, Ord is reading its config file. And let's say you get an IO error, an input output error, where it fails to read that config file. The error message that you'll get would be like IO error, like read failed. But it won't tell you that you were like reading the config file. It might not tell you the path of the file that you were reading. It'll give you this unhelpful low level error. Mm-hmm. And this is technical debt. This is a big cleanup that we have to do. It's like a lot of changes. It's not very hard, but it is like a lot of lines of code that need to be changed and a lot of like thought. So I include that with 1.0 because it's like technical debt. These are actually the only two things for me. Oh yeah, the other thing is shipping galleries and attributes.
Yeah. Because
those are like a missing feature, but we'll come back to those later. So the agent mode is something that's enabled by this wallet cleanup, which is the, and if you've been on our Twitter spaces for the last week, subscribers only, Hell Money Pod Twitter spaces, sign up on twitter.com/hellmoneypod or something.
I think so, yeah.
Yep. You already know about all this stuff because we drop mad fucking tea all the fucking time.
Yeah, now's the time to do the show, honestly. Because, I mean, this would be an ad break time, right? Yeah. But we don't have ads on Hell Money Podcast.
That's because we respect the listener.
Yeah, we respect the listener way too much.
Yep.
It's not why. We just like couldn't figure that out. But yeah, we don't have ads, but we could make our own ads because we have, our own shit.
This is an ad. Just do it.
This is an ad.
Yeah.
So we've talked about the subscribers, whatever, like for the first time when we got deplatformed, and then we did the episode where we were like in cardboard boxes and coffee bags.
Yep.
But since then we like never mention it. But I actually think it's kind of like the best thing that we do now in a way. I mean, obviously I love the episodes, but like
it's just great. It's like we do like an hour to like an hour and a half. Everybody joins in. We just talk about sort of what's on our mind. Honestly, it is a lot of quote unquote alpha.
It is.
It's literally like new features that are coming to Ord and like why they're cool. There's nothing that's private there. Like Ord is an open source project. It's developed in public. GitHub is still like, we still make issues.
Yeah,
and
you
stuff.
could still see it on GitHub if you wanted to.
But it's a good way to find out like what is Casey thinking about? What is Aaron thinking about?
what Aaron is thinking about is the most important aspect there.
Definitely. If you literally want to like ask me questions about like how to do your project, you can do that.
And some people have been using it that way.
Yeah.
And like, I'm like, Godspeed, good for you guys. Because it's like $12 a month, which is like $6 a space then basically. And you're just getting like Casey one-on-one tech support.
Yeah,
we've done like 4 of them, I think now, 4 or 5.
Something like that.
But basically, because we post the podcast every other week.
Yep.
And we try to do like noon PST on Wednesdays, Hump Day, HMP Day.
Yep, Hump Day, HMP Day. I love that.
So yeah, we post the podcast, and then on the off weeks at noon PST on Wednesdays, we do the spaces. So sign up for the Twitter spaces because they're a lot of alpha. And yeah, if you are a subscriber, you don't even have to listen to this episode. Yeah. Although you'll probably benefit because definitely when we were explaining,
please do listen to this episode. We need the analytics.
We need you. But like when we did the Twitter space last, we were talking about. Were we talking about the agent in the wallet or gallery? I think we were talking about all of it.
Yeah, I think we were talking.
I think we kind of were talking about all of these things, but I feel like there was a level of like, this is why we brought out the whiteboard this time because I think there's an element of like people were like, what is going on? This is too much. So if you were on the Twitter space and you got it, maybe you can log off, but please don't. If you were on the Twitter space and you didn't get it, you're getting even more, but you got it earlier than everyone else.
Absolutely.
So sign up for How Many Podcast. Also, chill. The Ordinals BIP shirt.
The Ordinals BIP shirt. That's right.
Casey's wearing the first edition. I'm wearing the second edition. These were the one that Casey's wearing. I had made for Casey's birthday in March 2023, and then I was like, "This is a great shirt." I wear mine every single once a week. Every time I do laundry, I watch the Ordinals shirt. It's a great shirt.
This is the entire protocol. It's not inscriptions, but it's the sats.
This is Ordinals.
Yeah,
this is the
Ordinals.
Rosetta Stone of
That's
Ordinals.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's not the Rosetta Stone because the Rosetta Stone is in multiple languages. That sort of. If it was in more than one language, then maybe. But I get the.
What would be the key unlocking sort of document? It's not like the Da Vinci Code, but no, you know what I mean?
The Rosetta Stone is probably correct.
Yeah, it's the closest thing. But yeah, it's the ultimate flex to have, your code fit on a t-shirt.
Absolutely.
You wore this when you did Bit Devs the other day, yesterday. Outing you as wearing the same shirt 2 days in a row. Yeah, it's a flex. It's a great shirt. You can buy it at shop.inscribing.com. Inscribing.com/shop, I think also works. I don't know.
Hell yeah.
And all of the profits go to the Open Ordinals Institute.
Oh, nice.
Which
all the profits?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Okay.
Which funds RAF and servers.
I assumed you were skimming some off the top.
No, not for this one, baby. Not for this one. This one goes. That felt wrong to me. I don't know. It's like what I'm gonna. I mean, I could, but it just wasn't easy. All right, just give it to OI.
That's good. Yeah, buy the t-shirts.
Yeah, so buy the t-shirts. Yeah, what else do we have to shill? Oh, Vegas. We got a lot coming in Vegas. Come May 27th, 2025. Inscribing.com/Vegas. Come see us in Vegas. We have even more things that we'll be announcing throughout the next month or two before Vegas. So
very special.
It all rests on Vegas, really.
If Vegas doesn't go well, it's all over.
It's all over. You're never going to hear from us again. Yeah. So yeah, buy your ticket to Vegas. Oh, and use code HELLMONEY for 10% off.
Hell yeah.
Hell Money for 10% off your tickets to Vegas. Go get your t-shirt, shop.inscribing.com and subscribe to Hell Money Podcast.
Yep, definitely.
And that's it. That's our shill. That's our ad for ourselves.
And also, if you're in the spaces, you get to shill.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody gets not everybody. We do 5 shills usually at the end of the subscriber space, and you get to shill whatever you want for a minute.
Yeah, that's what made me think of this.
Or insist that you're not gay. Either one is fine.
That's a shill.
Yeah, that's a shill. You're shilling your own heterosexuality.
Exactly. That's what made me think that we needed to be shilling on the episodes because I usually take a slot at the end shilling and I'm like, why don't I do this on our fucking podcast? So,
all right. I feel like we should get back to the content.
Yeah, now we've done our ad break.
Ad break is done.
They've already skipped through. They're like,
yeah. So,
back to Ord 1.0.
Back to Ord 1.0. So error handling, really important. Just improves the errors that the user receives using Ord, which I think just makes it much, much easier to use. And this is an oversight that we didn't do it the right way from the beginning. And it just kind of has grown and grown and grown. We probably should have stopped and do it a while ago, but that's what I feel like needs to be in part of 1.0. So yeah, and another thing is, I guess I'll just talk about it because it's part of 1.0 is attributes. So we have, the other thing is letting legacy collections somehow migrate on chain.
Yeah, that's a bit of a technical debt in a way. Or maybe it's a cultural debt.
Technical debt, cultural debt, kind of like we have these systemically important things, don't want to leave them behind, you know? So, so that's galleries and attributes. Galleries are...
Well, I guess explain maybe through the context of parent-child. right? Like, what do you mean by this debt of
So
legacy collections?
When we initially launched inscriptions, there was no way to make a collection of inscriptions, tie inscriptions together on chain so that you knew that they were related. About 6 months to 8 months after launch, we created, is that right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yep. We released something called parent-child, where a new inscription, if you controlled an inscription, you could make a new inscription under that inscription as a child. And everybody would see them as being linked. And if you had multiple inscriptions under the same parent, you would see that there were multiple children. They were made by the person who controlled the parent.
And that's still the gold standard of provenance. There's nothing beating that. Like, if you didn't do that from the get-go with your inscriptions, that's just it.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And for a while, that's kind of just been like the accepted thing.
Yep.
And then the way that that's sort of handled like in the ecosystem or culturally is that you essentially like upload a JSON of inscription IDs to Magic Eden or Gamma or wherever you want your collection to be recognized.
Yep, exactly. Yep. So,
but it's not on chain.
That's right. So as a result, there are all these really important collections like the puppets or the shrooms or whatever that don't use parent-child. And so the downside of this is that basically everybody just has to look at like Magic Eden's API to see like what is in a collection, which inscription. There's large collections with more than 100 members. It's hard to keep track of. So I created this thing called galleries, which is done but not shipped in a new version of Ord, which is a way of anybody can create a gallery and anybody can put any inscriptions they want into a gallery. And this doesn't establish provenance automatically like parent-child. Like if somebody makes a child inscription, because they have to have moved the parent in that transaction, it's guaranteed that they made the child. There's like a link. But for galleries, anybody can put any inscriptions into a gallery. You just make the special inscription that like is a gallery. And this is intended, one is you can use it on its own for like curation. You just want to curate an on-chain list of inscriptions, like go for it. But the real main use is so that these old collections that aren't on chain can make a gallery. Either the community, the person who creates it, whatever, makes a gallery with all the inscriptions that are in the collection. And then everybody just needs to reference this one inscription, the gallery inscription, to know what's in the collection.
Yeah.
And they don't need to constantly hit like Magic Eden's API, for example.
Yeah. And I mean, I think like, you know, it's obviously not as good as parent-child because you can't like prove that this thing made this thing. And so there's kind of a bit of like you have to all collect around one gallery inscription still.
Yeah. There needs to be that community consensus.
But I think the major benefit is that it's a lot harder to then change that after the fact.
Yep.
Right. Like, so right now, you know, if you have your collection that you've listed wherever and you upload the JSON, you can go change that JSON at any time. Like whoever uploaded that JSON can change it and no one knows even that they changed it. And I think we've seen this. I don't know if this actually played out this way, but I know there was some drama with like some Pizza Ninja that got stolen and then it was like, oh, remove it from the collection because it got stolen. We don't want someone to buy it because it was stolen.
Just so fucking stupid.
And it's like, well, but it's in the collection.
It's in the collection.
Like, that's crazy.
Like, when a Picasso is stolen from a museum, it doesn't stop being a Picasso.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's just like a little bit of like, you know, if someone wanted to change the JSON or the gallery inscription or whatever that would remove something from a collection or add something to a collection, whatever they want to do, it makes it very obvious that they did that.
Well, they can't do that.
Right. They can't do it with the inscription.
They'd have to make a new gallery and tell everybody,
and be like, wait, this is the one, guys.
Just kidding. Yeah. So it makes it, you can't change it. And if you want to propose a new gallery, you've got to do that and get the community to like accept it.
Yeah.
Which maybe they will if they're fucking stupid and they want to be like, a Picasso is no longer a Picasso when it gets stolen. Or maybe for good reasons, if the community's okay with adding things to a collection, maybe you could propose a new gallery, but I think you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, I think I agree. And I think for most of these so-called legacy collections that didn't use parent-child, there's probably not going to be that much controversy.
No, not
as far
at all.
as I know. I mean, I could be wrong that maybe there's, you know, there's a few puppets on the margins that people are like, is that, you know, they inspect and they say that oil wasn't available at the time of creation. And so there's no way that Picasso could have painted this, right? Like maybe there's some controversies that I'm not even aware of, but I think for things like the shrooms, right? Like it's probably a community consensus that will be relatively easy.
It's actually pretty interesting that there isn't very much like that there is a lot of consensus. I don't see people arguing about what is and isn't in a collection, you know?
Yeah. Well, it is interesting because it's like it is very dependent on who's the person who like uploaded the JSON to Magic Eden or wherever.
Right.
I even noticed like there's some early inscriptions. I guess I shouldn't dox the creators of the early inscription, but I know there's specifically like one early inscription that is like just a little pixel art in a certain style, or maybe it's a couple in a certain style. And someone like many months later created other inscriptions that were like those and then uploaded that as a collection, and it's still on like Magic Eden and Ord.io.
Yeah.
And like it's just not the case. Like, and it's just like 3 sub 100 inscriptions and then like 10,000 like over 1 million inscriptions.
Yeah.
Obviously like stuff like that could still happen. It still requires like someone to challenge it. But I think just the ease of like log on, put in the JSON. It all happens behind the scenes and it all happens at like a centralized exchange level. It makes it a lot easier for those things to just happen.
Right. Yep.
I mean, I'm excited for galleries from the curatorial aspect as well.
Right.
Because I've always wanted Pinterest for ordinals. That's something that, and that doesn't necessarily have to live on chain, but it's kind of fun if it does. Like for me, I'm not making a ton of inscriptions myself. And so, but I'm an inscription enjoyer.
Right.
You know, and I often notice inscriptions that are astrological or very beautiful Pepes or digital megalith core. And I'd like to be able to organize those in a way that like I could have a parent inscription that's like Aaron's Pinterest icon basically.
Right.
And then I would have all these galleries that I felt represented certain artistic things. Or like if I write like an archaeological paper about like inscriptions, I'd like to be able to cite all my sources in one gallery, right? And be able to be like, gallery entry 1 referenced in the paper. You know?
Totally, yeah.
So I think it's cool for people that want to like be curators.
It also gives you more tools to create this weird graph of like parent-child inscriptions. Galleries can be under parents. Galleries can contain parents. Like it gives you a lot of expressivity to create this like weird graph of inscription.
Yeah, we haven't really used I don't know if like, what are we going to use the whiteboard?
Use the whiteboard?
The whiteboard might stay empty the whole fucking time.
Maybe, who knows?
Fuck. But I thought of it because I think like Lifo Fifo did a gallery inscription already, right?
The first gallery inscription. Because me and Raph did not bother even making
This is classic. This is classic.
Like whatever, like hope it works.
Yeah, so there is already an example of a gallery inscript, like we'll link it or something. Jason will edit it in. There is an example of one that already exists that you can check out and look at and see like what it looks like. And it looks very similar to parent child in like on ordinals.com, but it just doesn't have a parent. It's just the gallery. So I'm really excited for that because I think obviously there's the legacy, like, legacy collection aspect, but I think also it just gives a level of like interactivity for curators. Like even if you're doing like let's say you're curating a gallery for an event or something and you want to just like put them all together so that you know and you have this record of like on this day or at this time I curated this group and like it's under your sort of curator parent. Right? Like I feel like it's just fun. It's fun stuff.
And damn, what the fuck was I gonna say?
I don't know. The whiteboard really threw us off.
Yeah, it really threw us off. Oh yeah, and so I guess that kind of brings us to our next thing, which is attributes. Which is okay, you want to know what's in a collection, but for a lot of these legacy collections, it's also important to know what the metadata is. Like what are the shiny ones? What are the ones with the different? Does it have is it a hoodie or is it a hat?
Right.
You know?
This is like for those of you who haven't had the joy of uploading a JSON to Magic Eden or Gamma or wherever. A
JSON, uploading a JSON.
What do you say? I don't know.
Uploading some JSON. It's like milk. JSON? You don't have a milk. You have some milk.
Wasn't it a JSON file?
It is a JSON file. Just like you have a milk.
A JPEG.
Jug. A JPEG. Yeah. Just because things start with the letter J doesn't mean the music.
No, but like a PDF. Like a PDF file or a PDF.
Yeah.
A JSON or a JSON file.
You have to say a JSON file. You have to.
Why?
You just have to.
Okay.
It's the rules.
So those of you who haven't, and actually it's not even, it's copy paste in Magic Eden. You don't even upload the file. You just copy and then paste it in.
In that case, it's a JSON object.
Okay, so for those of you that haven't had the joy of uploading a JSON object to Magic Eden or Gamma or wherever.
Nobody would say it that way, but whatever. Hello, darkness.
Most of what's contained there is not just inscription IDs, it's the attributes, right? That's, as you said, that's the shiny things, that's the hoodie, that's
what
the crown, whatever.
Is. Yep.
When you're looking at an inscription and you want to browse by attribute to see how rare something is.
Yep.
So it's not just that you want to have the collection items all together.
That's right.
You also want to be able to distinguish its attributes.
Yep, that's right. So we are adding attributes to gallery items, which we haven't done yet, but we want to get done soon and ship. So that you can not just get the membership in the collection on chain, but also all the metadata, the attributes of every item. So it's all on chain. And attributes are actually going to be a little bit different from existing metadata. We already have existing metadata, but I want to make attributes strongly typed so that it's in a consistent format. Right now, the way that people update metadata is like really fucking stupid. Like the schema of the JSON that you upload to Magic Eden, i.e. like what the fields are named.
You just called it the JSON.
The schema of the JSON. Yeah.
All right, sorry. Keep going.
The man of the milk. The schema of the JSON that you upload to Magic Eden is not great. And it's especially not great if you're going on chain because it's too big. It's not designed to be small. But if you're doing a gallery for a very, very large collection, you definitely want to make it as small as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that we have to put some design into it. And it means that, you're not going to be doing this like, we're just going to optimize it for being small, basically.
Yeah. Because I guess the way that it works for like Magic Eden is like you have inscription ID and then you have all the attributes under that inscription ID, and that's would be repeated 10,000 times.
And you also have like attribute name, attribute value as text strings, which increase it by 16 bytes or whatever, like per attribute.
Sure.
So we don't want to do that.
So how is this smaller then? Like how do you optimize that?
It's CBOR, and instead of doing text keys where it says like attribute name, attribute value as like strings, we have numbers.
And then does that reference a name that you established earlier?
No. It's not that complicated. It's just like instead of having attribute name, attribute value, we're using CBOR native key value pairs, which is just smaller.
But it still says the name, like hat blue.
Yes.
But just CBOR is more.
CBOR is smaller and more compact.
Okay.
We may later do something such that you can like compress the attributes.
Yeah, because I would imagine like if you had a list of all attributes in the beginning, then for each inscription ID you could just be like true, false, true, or like whatever, We might do that. Red, blue, green,
Let me make a note for that.
Wow, look at me. Yeah. Look at me.
Yeah, it's actually a legitimately good point that we should think about.
Wow. Because you heard it here on Hell Money Podcast.
Look at me. Sure. I'm the captain now.
Yeah, because for doing a 10,000 whatever collection.
It's a lot. Yeah, because you kind of don't want to have to rewrite everything over and over and over again.
Yep.
Yeah, I would like to see, while you're writing this, I would like to see, like right now, Magic Eden just uses JSON to establish collections, even if you do parent-child. I want it to be that like I can upload just the inscription ID of the parent, and then it automatically goes through and creates whatever schema it needs to put that on Magic Eden. And I don't see why they don't do that, because then couldn't they index anything that's parent-child automatically?
Why don't they automatically index parent-child?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right?
I don't know. I think it's just like Magic Eden is probably practicing fire-driven development where they're just putting out the most urgent fire like constantly.
I don't know. I think it's also probably that why would you encourage a standard where you don't have total control? Yeah. Like, because right now they're the master of the JSONs.
But I don't even think they really like that. Like, they've been pretty supportive of the whole gallery stuff.
Yeah.
So like, I don't even think they really want that. I think that's not what they
maybe they don't even have the idea.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But you heard it here.
Yep.
Get on our subscriber space.
That's right. Yeah.
Get all the alpha.
Yep. So anyways, we need to do attributes. The scheme of attributes need to be designed. And these like more rich, like strongly typed attributes with a schema. Do you know what a schema is?
No.
Okay.
Whiteboard.
Yeah. Why not? Let me use the whiteboard at least once. So
yeah, go for it.
Normally when you have a JSON object, JSON comes in many different types. So you can have like a number, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a 1. Or you can have like a string, hello. Or you can have a list, which has like a number and then like 2 and then like 3.5, right?
Mm-hmm.
In a list, one after another. Or you can have what's called an object in JSON, which has...
I thought they were all objects.
Well, kind of they are, but these are the objects. Where you have a key with a name and a value with a value, as it were, which is like 100, let's say. And these are all valid JSON objects, right?
Mm-hmm.
A schema just says it's a definition of what the shape of the object that it expects is.
Okay.
So JSON looks like that. And a schema might be something like one number.
Damn, this handwriting is crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty like
that's an S?
Yeah. No, this is crossed out bullshit.
No, but the schema.
Yeah, that's an S. Yeah.
Is it Schema or
just schema? That's how it's pronounced.
Is there a C in there?
No.
It's just SH.
It's SH.
Okay, but it's schema. That's crazy.
It is. Is it SCHEMA?
It must be SCH.
Yeah, I think it's schema. That's right. Yeah. So anyways, one number, or in our case, like a more complicated schema is like objects with string keys. These are the keys.
Mm-hmm.
And integer values.
His and hers handwriting.
Yeah. See why I told you to do the handwriting?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So so we've got two schemas, one which takes a number and one which takes an object with string keys and integer values. This number is valid under this schema, but not this schema. Because it's an object.
Because it's not, an object with string keys and integer values.
This is this and this, a single string or a list of integers or numbers.
Neither would work.
Neither works.
Okay.
This is valid for this schema, but not this schema.
So these are different schemas.
Those are different schemas.
Okay.
Those are two different schemas.
Yeah.
So basically with current metadata on inscriptions, there is no schema. Your data can be any shape that you want.
It's Wild West out there. You can write your manifesto in the metadata.
Yep. And that's what it's kind of for. We just use it and we just render it to HTML. We just display it. But these legacy collections, they always have like key value pairs. They always have attributes that are keys and values. And so instead of just letting it be the Wild West and let people put up the attributes in whatever format they like think of, and like it's really hard for interoperability, because a computer is not flexible. When you want to write a computer program to like, let's say, sort a bunch of inscriptions by their attributes, you can't say like, just look at the metadata and like try to guess what format it is. You have to have a specific format. So that's what we're doing with the attributes. It's like the metadata, but it's with a specific schema for like title, description, and then key value pair attributes.
In that way, it is kind of an improvement, or it does have that like over parent-child, right? Because like with parent-child, you don't have that set schema for your attributes.
So this is coming both to gallery items and to normal inscriptions.
Okay, so attributes is just generally being added.
Attributes is being added. And the reason is because really the strong motivation is for galleries to get legacy collections on chain with their attributes. That's the motivation, but I don't want to add anything to gallery items that privileges them over parent-child. Because the structured attribute metadata is like a great feature. Lots of people want this. I wouldn't want it to not be possible with parent-child inscriptions.
But for inscriptions that have already been, or collections that have already been made with parent-child, would they benefit then from having a gallery with this sort of like schema attributes?
Not really. They already have their metadata. Like it's not a big deal.
You're like, whatevs.
Yeah, I'm like, whatevs.
Okay.
Yeah, too bad, but there you go.
Someone really needs to make, I mean, now I'm getting alpha to the people. Someone really needs to just like make a really easy website that helps you make a gallery inscription.
Sure. I think Lifo did that. I think
he's already done it
as a tool.
Okay.
Yeah.
With, I guess, I don't know, the attributes aspect. That's more what I'm like pointing to.
Yeah,
it's
attributes is not done yet. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's kind of the key thing is like you want to be able to like put in all of your attributes and know that it's going to like format correctly and be like everything's going to be there. So it's not just like,
indeed.
Because I feel like the gallery of just inscription IDs, that doesn't seem that hard to me. But you really, I feel like for the attribute aspect, you have to make that like user friendly. So Lifo, get on it.
Yep.
He's probably already on it.
Yep.
And also, I don't understand, maybe this already exists, but I don't understand why there isn't a tool like what I just complained about Magic Eden not having, but just existing outside of Magic Eden, where you upload a parent inscription ID and then it generates a Magic Eden friendly JSON for you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why don't we have that?
Yeah, I don't
Guys, get on it.
Get on it.
That's all.
Yep. So yeah, that's agent, wallet, galleries, and attributes.
Well, we didn't talk about agent actually.
Oh yeah, okay.
So
fine.
well, let's just kind of recap though, because I feel like this is sort of a lot already.
It's a lot already. Yep.
I mean, basically the idea here is like what gets us to Ord 1.0.
Yep.
Cleanup and a couple new features.
Yep.
Cleanup is the wallet aspect.
Clean up the wallet.
A couple new features.
Error handling, which is galleries and attributes.
Right.
Which is legacy collections getting on chain.
Error handling and galleries and attributes.
Yep.
Yeah. So like these are kind of the new features, galleries and attributes.
Mhm.
And then in terms of cleanup, it's like wallet with BDK
And error handling. Yep.
But then there's this magic
The
thing
agent.
that probably would come after Ord 1.0. I don't know.
Just depends.
Depends on
Yep.
how you're feeling.
Yep. But so the agent is like actually kind of special. I mean, like what the agent is now that we have this like better wallet, we can. The reason that we got interested in doing this big cleanup of replacing the wallet with BDK is we want to be able to run the wallet as an agent.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? An agent is the word that we use for a wallet which runs without your attention and will sign transactions on your behalf. It will get strange, partially signed Bitcoin transactions over the internet, and it will sign them if they comport with a policy that you set. So an example policy is I have 10 inscriptions. I want to sell them all for 1 Bitcoin each.
Mm-hmm.
That is an example policy. Another example policy is I want to do an auction. I want to do an ascending price auction or a descending price auction with this like price curve and this timing. Any sort of policy that you can imagine, we can make an agent do that. So instead of having to use some like janky ass bullshit, you run your Ord node, you tell it what your policy is, and it will like sell your shit or buy shit from other people. You could say, I want to market make, some collection, and I'm willing to buy anything under this price and sell it over this price and try to like market make. So this is something that I actually kind of wanted somebody else to do. I've been talking about shit like this all the time with like light pools and like always online hot wallets is the way to compensate for Bitcoin's lack of functionality, lack of smart contract functionality, because that's what people want. People want an agent, and what they want on Ethereum, they want an agent, and the form that agent takes is a smart contract
For Ethereum,
right? Which is, it's not like a wallet that you run, but it's a smart contract that you deploy. And in short, it does stuff for you while you're not looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's like an AMM, like, oh, then you make money, maybe. Or most of the time with an AMM, you fucking lose money because you're getting ass fucked by the fucking MEV hunters.
But in your mind,
you're making money.
You're like,
yeah.
this is my get rich quick scheme. It's
Yeah.
generational wealth.
Or you're like listing your NFT on Ethereum to like purchase. So I wanted somebody else to do it, but like nobody's really doing it. Everybody's pursuing like shinier things that I think are like ultimately like bad ideas or like not worth it. Many such cases. So I'm like, okay, this is the first step, is like having the wallet, be able to run it with Ord Wallet Agent, defining a policy, simple policies at first, and then people connect to the agent. They submit a PSBT for like what they want the agent to sign. The agent tries to figure out if it's like within its policy to sign that PSBT. And if it does, it signs the completed transaction and broadcasts it.
So here's the thing I don't understand.
Yep.
Is the agent something that you connect to, or is the agent like your personal agent that you're running? Like, how do the agents know about each other? Like, I guess what I'm trying to understand is like, so let's say I have 10 inscriptions on my Ord wallet, and I'm like, yeah, I'm happy to sell any of these inscriptions for 1 BTC. And so like I set up my policy with my agent or whatever. And in my mind, the agent is like an agent, you know, like it's like you're an actor who wants a gig, and you're like, your agent is there, and they're like, I'm gonna get you, you know, that next Timothy Chalamet role,
right? Yeah,
like you are like, please agent, like sell my 10 inscriptions for 1 BTC each.
Yep.
How does the agent then go out and do that?
So you run the agent on some computer,
okay,
probably like a server, if you want it to be publicly accessible, like in the cloud, you know. You certainly could run it on a laptop, but that just winds up being like weird configuration and stuff, but you know, whatever. And then somebody else who has Ord, for example, we have this Ord wallet offer command. We could make that connect to, like, you say, okay, I want to run, let me describe a future that's like a little bit more fleshed out than the first version.
Yeah, because obviously there's like a first version and then there's like a version that's,
Let's say that this first, like the MVP agent, which might not be the first version we release, is you have your like Ord node and you say, agent, I want to sell these 10 inscriptions for 1 Bitcoin a piece.
Mm-hmm.
The wallet has those inscriptions. So you run it and your Ord node shows a little bit of like a little store, little storefront.
But how does anyone see that?
You chill it on Twitter. You say, go to my website.
Okay. So it's a website. Like, so someone would have to set up a website or something. And then how does the website find it?
What do you mean? How does the website
like,
find
I'm
it?
just imagining
Ord is the website. When you go to ordinals.com, that is a website and that is Ord.
So it would be on ordinals.com.
No.
Okay.
In this world I'm describing, it's not on ordinals.com.
Could it be?
It could be.
In theory.
It could. Yeah. But that gets into a lot of like weird stuff that I don't know if we want to take those risks,
Sure.
But in this world, the simple world, you run Ord. You don't actually have to run Ord, but I'm doing it for the sake of completeness.
Mm-hmm.
You run Ord. You attach your agent to it with this policy. You shill it on Twitter. Somebody can go to your agent, see the inscriptions that you're selling and what price, and then they can go into their own Ord wallet and run a Ord wallet offer command. Except instead of like now where you have to run Ord wallet accept yourself, as long as they're offering you enough money, your agent will automatically do the accepting and broadcast the transaction.
So what if I want to see everything that anyone is offering with an agent?
That is some sort of future like thing.
So in that situation, would that be a single agent that then people connect to? Or would it still be their own agents that are somehow talking to each other?
It must be their own agent because the agents are trusted. The agents hold private keys.
Right. The agent is signing for you.
The agent is the wallet. The agent has the private keys and makes the signature. If you
so how is this?
Wait, let me just, to belabor this point, you have to, if you wanted to use somebody else's agent, you would have to send your inscriptions to that agent and that agent could do whatever they wanted.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have your own agent and the agent is like smoking in a back room.
Yes.
And they will accept 1 BTC.
Yes.
But how is that different than just an offer? Like, I guess what I'm thinking
I have to run Ord wallet accept to accept the offer. I have to be at the
right.
At the
Someone
computer.
gives you an offer.
Somebody gives me an offer,
it.
and it takes my.
So this is more filling in the listing side of it. Then
it's filling in the accepting. Like, if let's say I wanted to sell 100 things, I would have to hit Ord wallet accept. I'd have to type in Ord wallet accept 100 times with different PSPTs.
So people don't know what your agent will accept. Like
your agent, no, in this like world. With like you have like the agent shows a little web store. Mm-hmm. It can also show what things are priced for. It can show what its policy is.
That's why I say like the listing aspect is like it's kind of like saying like
in the
this
future,
is what I'm listing it for. In theory, you can. We
might easily add a listing thing. So it also will pop up a little website and you can see it says here's my wares.
Yeah.
And like here's what
it's like a Neopet store.
I don't like this. I like that it's like a D&D like traveling merchant kind of vibe. That's the vibe that
his
I'm
and
going for. Yeah, his and hers. Yeah. So it's like here's my little store. Mm-hmm. Here's the inscriptions I'm selling, and in a user-friendly way, here's the policy that I am executing based on. Mm-hmm. Which might be I'll sell anything these for 1 Bitcoin. This is 1 Bitcoin. This is 0.1 Bitcoin. We're doing a descending price auction, and here are the current prices, and here's how the prices are going to go down over time.
Yeah. So like in addition to kind of your agent saying, "Oh, I will sell this at a certain price," your agent could do other policies as well, like at X block height, it'll be worth this. At the next block height, it will be that. Like you could do more complicated policies.
That is a policy, and different items can have different policies.
So you could get creative with your policies.
Yeah, creative with your policies. Yeah, and this is not going to be part of the first release, but yeah, we could like, okay, what are like improvements? One is the agent maybe through Ord, because Ord is also like a block explorer, like can do this like graphical listing. Mm-hmm. That's one thing, so that you can go to this website and see what's for sale, like a little inscriptions Shopify instance. Mm-hmm. Another thing is, okay, maybe there's some way of your agent telling ordinals.com what it's selling. So it like registers its little store with ordinals.com. So you can like find it on like a list of ordinals.com.
Yeah.
This is really hard, but maybe the agents all talk to each other and talk about what they're selling so that you can go into Ord and you can see a bunch of different agents.
I'd like that.
Yeah, I think that's what people want. It's
Yeah.
really hard.
Yeah.
But I think actually this is the simple version, even without the website, is a huge unlock. Because like an artist who wants to sell some inscriptions, you want to make it like trustless. Oh yeah, and all of the operations with the agent will be trustless.
Mhm.
Like the agent won't just say like, send me 1 Bitcoin. Like,
Trust me, bro.
Yeah, it'll say, send me a PSBT, sending me 1 Bitcoin and sending you this inscription. And we do it in one go, like atomically.
Yeah.
So I think this is just great infrastructure for everybody.
Yeah, I guess that's the way to think of, like, that's the way that I'm thinking about it now, is like that.
You want to know how you can use this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, from an infrastructure perspective, let's say you're an artist that has however many inscriptions that you'd just like to have listed on your website. Like, you know, right now, if you're an artist and you have a portfolio website, you have all these inscriptions and you're just kind of displaying them, and you're like, view this on Magic Eden or view this on Ordinals.com or whatever. You could more easily have on your website, just buy it right now.
Yep.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah, it is pretty fun. Yeah.
It's pretty fun.
Yep. I think it's great. I think it's like decentralizing. I think it means that there's less, you don't have to, like right now, you really have to partner with like one of these infrastructure providers to sell your inscriptions. But in this world, somebody could, just spin up a computer and sell some inscriptions with their agent, in a much
easier way, much more user-friendly way.
Yep. This feature is terrifying though.
Yeah.
Because this is a very complicated hot wallet that signs transactions without user intervention. That's fucking scary. And that's like your private keys on like internet connected computer. So I feel like most people want to have an agent wallet that's separate from their main wallet so that they're not giving the agent the keys to their main stash. They're just giving the agent the inscriptions that they want to sell.
Right. And then you would kind of transfer. Yeah, you would have your sort of like secure Fort Knox wallet that you would then transfer from to your agent wallet if you were trying to list things on your website or wherever else.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I like it.
Yep.
It's cute.
It's good. Yep.
But this is not Ord 1.0. This is sort of like
no, the agent is like enabled by Ord 1.0.
How'd you come up with the idea for the agent?
Just seeing all these things that would be so. It's all about interactive transaction construction.
Yeah.
If you like, one of Bitcoin's limitations is that it doesn't have smart contracts. And this is good. Like smart contracts are like fucking bullshit.
Yeah, I kind of hate smart contracts, but this is just a vibes level assessment.
It's not just a vibes level assessment. It's like, what do you want to do? Do you want to like make it? It's like when inscriptions first launched, it was so much better than NFTs on Ethereum. Like, it's like, what do you want to do? Do you want to write Solidity? Do you want to write an ERC 721 fucking contract? Or do you want to go Ord wallet inscribe file? Like, which one is better? I'll fucking tell you, the second one is better. All Ord wallet inscribe file is fucking lit. That's what people actually want to do. They don't want to write Solidity. They don't want to read Solidity. They don't want to understand Solidity. They don't want to understand that Solidity exists. They want a button that says make NFT.
Yeah.
Right? That's the problem with smart contracts. But they do give you a lot of flexibility. They are your agent in a way that sits somewhere and is like active. People can like send it messages and it like does things.
We were at BitDevs. Sorry. I was just going to say that on the smart contract point, we were at BitDevs yesterday and they were talking about the
SF Bitcoin devs is fucking lit these days. So
it's great. Yeah.
Come on by.
Yeah. We were talking about the like Bybit hack.
Yep.
And I didn't realize that like multi-sigs on Ethereum are just a smart contract. That's so crazy.
That's fucking insane.
That's so Have you crazy
seen,
to me.
Like, and I showed that picture of what it says on a ledger.
Yeah.
It says like, here's the message hash. You want to sign it? And it's like, well, what does it mean? And the wallet's like, I have no fucking idea. I cannot tell you thing one about what you are doing. Literally no idea.
Yeah. I feel like there's some sort of like metaphor or analogy I can make with smart contracts, but I'm slowly getting there over time, but it really is crazy.
Signing a wallet, signing a transaction on Ethereum is like going to a fucking glory hole with a blindfold.
Like literally.
It's like whatever comes to that hole, out of that hole, I'm going to suck.
Yeah.
Like that's what it is. Like that's what your hardware wallet
Your agent is signing you up for that.
Yeah.
Your agent's like, well, this is the gig I could get.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the context of the Bybit, I mean, probably everyone's heard about the Bybit hack at this point. It was like $1.5 billion was hacked from this exchange, Bybit, whatever.
Yeah, I guess so. I had not heard of Bybit before this.
I think I
bullshit.
had heard of it, but I didn't really like know anything about it. But the reason why it happened is because I guess the exchange wallet was like a multi-sig on Ethereum, which is just a smart contract.
Yep.
And the terms of the smart contract just got changed. Is that right? Or like gave the private keys
there was
in
yeah
the
there
smart
was like
contract?
a complicated hack. Like somebody got basically the software that they ran on the computers that they signed these transactions with. They had like a computer and a hardware wallet, and the hardware wallet didn't get hacked, but the computers got hacked.
Mm-hmm.
And so they showed the computer was the way that they previewed the transaction.
Mm-hmm.
And the computer displayed something other than what was actually being sent to the hardware wallet.
Right. And like if you're signing a transaction on, like I have a cold card. And so if I'm signing a transaction in an actual multi-sig, like my Bitcoin multi-sig, I have the transaction on my computer and then I look at my cold card. My cold card says like, do you want to send this much Bitcoin to this address? And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Whereas in this case, it like just displayed this message hash
it
that
just
like
says get
made no
fucking
fucking
wrecked, bro,
sense.
question mark, literally.
But I guess what it did was it just like changed the smart contract or gave the private keys to someone else or
I don't
something.
remember the details of how
like
they
they
exploited
weren't
the smart
signing.
contract. They were not signing the transaction they thought they were signing. They were signing a transaction that gave the attacker control of the wallet.
And they weren't signing a transaction to transfer $1.5 billion worth of Ethereum, right? It was that they got drained after the fact because
I don't remember.
I think that's the case.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I think that what it was is like that the transaction gave the private keys or whatever they were signing gave the private keys to someone else who then drained the wallet.
Okay.
Rather than them being like, boop, like sending $1.5 billion and I don't even know what it is. I think it was that they were doing something smaller and then that compromised the whole system.
Okay. Yep.
I think. I could be wrong. But anyway, just, the fact that multi-sigs are just smart contracts on Ethereum is so crazy.
It's negligence by the Ethereum developers. Like another example is that addresses on Ethereum did not originally have checksums. So if you like mixed up like a A and an O, you were just sending money to the void. Like
it's
gone.
So crazy.
Solana is still like that. Solana, like this is fucking Clown Town. It's fucking Clown Town. It's fucking retarded.
I mean, I think
and like you don't even need to make up your own shit. Just copy what Bitcoin does, okay? Bitcoin has Bec32M addresses. They're fucking amazing. Like, just copy them. You're a negligent retard if you don't do this.
But I think this is why, again, I'm still searching for the correct analogy, but it's like, there's something about smart contract as a phrase that makes people feel like, oh, well, you guys don't have smart contracts on Bitcoin, so you can't really do anything. Yeah. And then it's like, they just do everything on smart contracts and then like nothing makes any fucking sense and it's so like, divorced from reality.
Smart contracts fucking suck. They can't even really do what you want.
And not even in like I think it's easy to also, maxis do this thing where they're like, if Bitcoin can't do it, it sucks. But it's like, genuinely, like in this situation, it's like, Bitcoin can't do it and it sucks.
It's like on Ethereum, it's like there's no reality. Everything is like a magic spell or a trick of the devil.
It is,
There's no like physical laws. It's like everything changes at any time.
It's so crazy. So anyway, so this sort of like, but that being said, of course, there's things maybe that people do with smart contracts that they would like to do on Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. And I guess bringing it back to the agent.
Yeah. Well,
this has a little bit of that flavor to it.
Yeah. And also like some of the limitations are specifically not having interactive transaction construction.
Right.
For example, when you want to list an inscription, you have to do this transaction first to put it into like or you have to create this PSBT, but it's vulnerable to sniping because you can't use sig hash all because you're not creating the final transaction.
Right.
Or you want to sell some runes, but you don't know, you have 100,000 of some runes and you want to sell some, but somebody might want to buy 1,000 and you want to sell them 1,000, but you don't want to have to like break it up into 1,000 first so that they can come around and buy it.
Oh yeah, actually that's a good point. Does this stuff apply to runes as well?
This all applies to runes.
So go through the agent scenario with runes because we talked about the agent as like you have 10 inscriptions, you want to sell them for 1 BTC, whatever. Like what's the runes example?
For runes is like whatever the fuck you want. Like you have like, what's a fucking rune? You have uncommon
Memento
goods.
Mori.
Fuck that shit coin. You have 10,000 uncommon goods and you want to sell any number for $1 each.
I mean, maybe this is why you thought of the agent though, because I feel like it's actually more relatable for runes.
No, it's everything. It's
sure, but like
mempool sniping, it's runes, it's
But I think
but the main thing is I want to sell some inscriptions. I want to sell some of my own inscriptions, and I'm never going to go on Magic Eden. That's just not like the thing that I do. No hate to Magic Eden.
Yeah, it's just not your aesthetic.
I always do it like not trustless, like from scratch.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for runes, it solves lot splitting.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, that's actually maybe the bit we should have probably led with that, because that's maybe the bigger story.
That's true.
So go ahead, give that
But
spiel.
that will also be later on, probably, because what an agent can do depends on what policies we program. It's not like your policy can be any magical bullshit that you can think of. It's like we have to be like, okay, first we're going to do fixed price selling inscriptions. Second, we're going to do fixed price selling runes. Third, we're going to do a descending price auction. Fourth, we're going to do an ascending price auction. And before we add the ability to set an ascending price auction policy, you won't be able to do it.
Right.
So that's just,
right. I mean, it's not
just
like,
understand that it's not going to come out the gate with all this feature. It's going to come out the gate probably with sell a collection of sell inscriptions for a fixed price for each one. That's probably the first one.
That's the first version. But I think like just in terms of what it potentially enables, like there's this aspect of right now, if you're trading runes, you have these lots that you have to, like, so you go
have
list
UTXOs and the UTXOs have some number of runes, like 1,000 UTXOs. It's 1,000 runes. And you can sell those 1,000 runes, but you can't sell half of them without doing a transaction first to split them, which is expensive and nobody wants to do.
Yeah. But with the agent's just sitting there. The agent can do whatever. The agent's, how many runes you want?
How many runes you want?
This is the best I can do. Yeah. I mean, that's actually huge.
Yep.
So that's maybe the bigger story.
The thing is it all hinges on discoverability, right? How do you find agents? Like, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I think that interactive transaction construction is sort of just the future of doing complicated things on Bitcoin. Because it's also something that I know works now. Yeah. You know, there's things like L2s and bridges and like covenants and stuff like that. And like, I'm not into that stuff because I want stuff that works now. Like I want something that's concrete that I can go, okay, that's going to work. That's not like a research project. Yeah. And the agent is like that. Like, it's like, you can. Why didn't someone make this already? I've been talking about it forever. Yeah. So I think we have seen a little bit. I think maybe Satflow and Liquidium have things that are like limited, like they're not sort of like general purpose agents. They're agents for like their platforms. I don't know if they're doing things with, but this is sort of general purpose, multiple policies. Yeah, I mean, I could just think about how many people started running Ord nodes ahead of the launch of runes, right? Like they were like, bro, this is the, like, I don't know why. I mean, I kind of know why, but it just was one of these things where people were like, bro, you got to learn how to do this. Otherwise you're going to miss out on your generational wealth. And it was like, mew. But like, but you know, like with that same logic, it's like, okay, if you have your Ord node running and you have your agent running, then you don't have to deal with the lot splitting aspect. And of course that requires, as you said, the communication kind of aspect, but it's like that already is such a better setup than what we currently have, where you list your runes and someone lists like 10,000 uncommon goods at like this crazy low price. And then it's like 5 uncommon goods at a slightly higher price, like above it. And then it just like the market's so fucked. The floor price is always lower than reality with runes because you have people that are listing their entire UTXO amount and not splitting them out. Whereas if you have this infrastructure layer where you have this interactivity, like I could just see so many people running Ord nodes in order to engage with runes that way. Yeah, guys, like what are people doing? Well, I mean, the problem is that this is hard to make money with, right? Yeah. That's the deal. Like donate to OOI. Yeah, donate to OOI. This is the fruits of the donations to OOI, basically. It is, yeah. So obviously we should, when it comes out, we should do a huge misleading push telling everybody that they need to run nodes. Yeah. And they'll have like the first version of an agent and it's going to fucking suck. And everybody will have like crazy servers that they bought for their Ord nodes. But like, whatever, it's good for the Bitcoin network. It's good for the Bitcoin network. Yeah. That's really the whole psyop. Yep. Okay, I'm glad we got to that point because I feel like now I kind of understand I understand like what's yet to be done better. Because I think for a while I was kind of like, okay, these sound cool, but like, you know. Oh, the agent is huge. Yeah. Agent's huge. Agent's huge for everything. It's huge for inscriptions. It's huge for, I mean, like, we want a small, non-technical, but technically minded artist to be able to like sell their own inscriptions. Right. You know, I feel like that is who like Ord is designed for, is like the self-sovereign ordinal maxis. That's right. Yeah. You know? Yep. Yeah. And you're delivering. We're trying. Time after time. That's right. Yeah. What else do we got? I think that's, well, you had your like sort of like waxing philosophical about the market. Oh, yeah. I mean, really, this is like, So a bear market,
which we're like not in right now, but like we're in the doldrums.
We're in the
maybe.
doldrums, but like the deal is that when people are fucking crazy, like you can just make money out of thin air. You can commission some bullshit pixel art and sell it for tens of thousands of dollars per pixel, right? You can do some random bullshit, hysteria. It's going to work, whatever. But in rational, normal, mature markets, you have to spend money to make money.
Mm-hmm.
So like
you have to take on risk.
You want to sell an inscription for $10,000. You can do that, but maybe you're going to have to spend $9,000 in like paying artists and like making a good product, making something interesting, high chain fees, like very good art, right? And that's what we see. That's what the people who are always around are like doing. You know, they're doing the hard work, not like people who are building products and services that are not trying to just like, you know, get the fucking the froth off the top of the market. That's what they're doing. And that's you've got to like understand that. Like the future of Ordinals is not inscribing something for $1 and selling it for $10,000. It's inscribing something for $9,000 and selling it for $10,000.
Yeah.
Making a normal profit like you make when you're selling fucking lentils in bulk, you know?
Yeah. Agreed. I mean, I think in general, there's this sort of nihilistic vibe that I really dislike about crypto that it's just like whatever, kids these days don't know how to build value and like get money for the value that they add. It's like I think everyone has this feeling, not everyone, but a lot of people have this feeling of like paranoia about the future that I think drives a lot of crypto's culture, where they're like, this is the last cycle to make it, you guys.
Oh yeah.
If you're not grinding and, you know, gambling all of your saved money on meme coins with the hope of getting out of 6-figure hell or whatever they call it. Like,
what's 6-figure hell?
6-figure. It's like you want to be in 8 or 9 figures. Otherwise you don't make it. Otherwise you're not gonna make, this is it.
Yeah.
Like, otherwise you got to go back to McDonald's. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's this idea of like, you have to just grind, add literally no value to anything and expect that you will become a multimillionaire as a result. And I just think it's so like, this is like what the fiat fake money system has created. And that's not what Bitcoin is. And I really just feel like if you want to make money, you should try to add value to the world. And that's not even a moralistic like statement.
No, it's like you want to make money. Like how make money? Like this how?
Create value. That's it. And so like I personally think we're in like a bear trap right now where it's like doldrums, whatever. It's like, I don't think we're in a bear market at this point, but like, this is the time to just like actually try to create something of value that you can sell for money and not just be like, where's my handout? Come on, I need my handout. Otherwise I'm not going to make it. It's like, you're not going to make it.
No, you're
like, you're literally not going to make it.
Like, look at us. We make a fucking podcast. We come to my fucking apartment. We fucking film this fucking podcast, fucking week in, week out. All right. Like, you can't just expect to
every
be
other week in,
every other week out.
And then on the off weeks, we're on Twitter Spaces.
Yeah, exactly.
How many podcast subscribers only? Adding value.
Yeah. Like that's what you got to do.
That's what it is. You know, that's life. And I just think like, yeah, you have to risk something and you have to add, you either have to risk or you have to add something in order to like expect some sort of outcome. And I mean, it's just, I don't know, like you need to be real men. You know what I mean? Like you need to grow up and like men used to go to war, you know? So yeah, that's just like, I mean, that's the waxing philosophical here, but it's just like, you can't expect to just have infinite money glitch forever. You have to like really try to contribute to the world. And again, not a moralistic statement. That's truly just like a market
That's truly
statement.
how it is. And that's how the Ordinals ecosystem is going to transform. Like, I hope that the Ordinal ecosystem has as large a market cap as possible because that's like activity. But I think that market cap over time, the activity in the ecosystem is going to be a lot of hard work. There's going to be a lot of artists working really hard, a lot of people working really hard in community, people doing interesting new technical things, and not like a bunch of froth, you know? And if the market cap is, you know, 1/10 of the maximum that it was, or 1/100th of the maximum, but it's all hard work, that's fine. You know, that's the way it is.
That's what the trenches really look like. Get in the trenches. But have fun, you know? You
got to make it fun. You got to do something that inspires you instead of just chasing like some fucking bullshit, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's why it's like, I don't know. I feel like we're throwing out ideas all the time and I just want to see people do it.
Yeah.
Like shout out
sure.
Leafo FIFO. I feel like he's often doing it.
Lefo's in the trenches.
Yeah.
Lefo's in the arena trying things.
Yeah. Just try to learn to do something of value.
Yeah.
Guys.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's our final parting message, I
Yep,
guess.
that's it.
Yeah. We'll see you
Any
next time.
final shills?
No, I mean, the same shells as before. Go buy a ticket to Inscribing Vegas. Oh, actually, if you're an open source dev, I'll give you a ticket for free. It's on our website. You can just apply.
Hell yeah.
If you've contributed to an open source project. I think it's like you have to have the PR accepted. It's like my rule. I don't remember what I put. But if you're an open source dev, you can come for free.
Hell yeah.
So, you know, that's some value that you've created that you're getting rewarded for.
Totally.
Buy the Ordinals BIP shirt.
If you open a PR on the Ord repo just to go to the fucking conference, I will fucking close
No, you have to
close your
accept
shit.
it. Has to be accepted. It has to be a PR that's been accepted. It doesn't have to just be Ord.
Okay.
It can be any Bitcoin or Ordinals related project. Yeah. That's what I've decided.
Okay.
So if you've had a PR accepted, like free ticket, you're good.
You should do it before you make the announcement. Like
what?
That the PR has to have been accepted before you announced that you're giving away for.
You're afraid of the slop PRs.
I've gotten slop PRs from this kind of thing.
The tickets
before.
are not that expensive. I don't think.
The degens are thirsty.
Yeah, they want their free money.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, you know, we've lots of new exciting things coming.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the future of Ordinals as always.
Me too. It's gonna be good. Vegas is gonna be big, and we have more fun stuff. That's going to be happening at Vegas.
We're building in this bear trap.
We're building in the bear trap. That's right.
We really are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
We
See
love
you next
you.
time.
Bye.
Bye.